Okay, so we're finally here. We're finally at the end. What could possibly be the last comic previews covered on this channel for the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comic books. We've still got 122, and we've still got the Darkest Hour finale, and Boom Studios has dropped the preview pages for the press releases for the Darkest Hour finale, as pre-orders have finally gone up. So it's crazy to think that this comic is coming to an end after so many years, 8 long years. I mean, I started covering the comics back in 2018. You can see my very first review there on issue 24. Then we went all the way to the very end. Some highs, some lows, but we've been doing this for a while and it's crazy to think about. And it's all coming to a close. I mean, Boom Studios even put out this teaser preview, which I'll probably put at the start of the video somewhere. But I've already seen it. I don't want to react to it. But if you guys want to watch it and we can sort of scrub through the footage, well, we can do that, because let's take a trip down memory lane. So I've got my headphones on. I'm going to expand this and we're going to have a look at this. I'm going to turn down the volume a little bit. We're going to have a look at this together. Okay, so Boom Studios. Oh, issue 1, issue 0, the very first morph. You got all these morphing sequences. Omega Rangers. You had the full team there with Matt. From the most infamous villains, Draken, Serpent Terror, or Lord Zed. Lord Zed again. Oh, I remember when that issue dropped. I mean, that was a crazy issue, learning about Zed's backstory and finding out that he was from Eltar, and you find out why the way he looks the way he does, because it was something that was teased in the TV show, and then we got like a serious backstory for it. That was like the coolest thing ever. Mistress Vile and the Vessel, Kia, Lord Zed as a ranger. Ah, oh, so many fun times. Tommy, when he gets the white light, he becomes the white light. You got Matt. Matt again, when he revealed himself, and it was kind of a controversial take. Matt was a controversial character within the comics for the longest time. I mean, some people loved him, some people hated him. And from what I heard, a lot of people hated him. Like, a lot of people on Ranger Board and a lot of people on... I don't know, a lot of people on Twitter hated him. But I think Ranger Board wasn't the biggest fan of him. Some people on Ranger Board wasn't the biggest fan of him. I'm sure Facebook fans weren't probably the biggest fan of him either, and I know that a lot of people would come into my comment section saying that they didn't want Matt to be the Green Ranger, they wanted to be Draken or Tom Oliver from, like, you know, Return of the Green Ranger, or they wanted it to be Jason, they wanted it to be Tommy's brother, like David Trueheart, when he wasn't even established yet. So people were upset when Matt became the Green Ranger, but I feel like Matt, and I've said this a lot, Matt has sort of become his own character that makes him stand out, and he has had those standout moments. Like, if you read those single issues where Matt had that focus episode when he became the Green Ranger, really great issue. But Matt, I do wonder what the story's going to do with Matt at the end of the day. It looks like he's romantically involved with Aisha, but we'll see where that goes. Because I don't think he's dying. I don't think they're going to kill him off. Oh, Zordon, I remember when those preview pages came out for the Eltarian War and that dropped. That was crazy. Like, that cover page when it dropped online, that was something. And then Draken returning at the end of Necessary Evil. That was crazy as well, because, you know, a lot of people wondering if Draken would return or not, because, you know, comics, and he showed up. Okay, gotta go back. Solar Rangers. Rangers of 1969, the very first Mighty Morphin team. Zordon meeting his body. Yale. Heroes have fallen. Oh, this scene here. This was a really iconic scene when it happened in the comics. Like, I wish I was there when it was at a WonderCon, I believe. It wasn't a Ranger Stop. I think it was a WonderCon or some kind of comic convention where they handed out issue 25 to a room of people and they said, let's all read it together. And they sort of got everyone's like collectible audio and gasps and they read it together. I think it was either that or they pulled someone up themselves to read it and they got their reaction themselves. But I remember when this image dropped online and holy shit, it was crazy. Like even looking at it now, it's still a crazy scene to see, like Tommy getting impaled. Like they could have gone more violent with it, with how that sword's shoved into him, but it's crazy. Yep, then that happened right after it. Ranger Slayer. Ranger Slayer is a great character. I want to make a history of Ranger Slayer video because I feel like Ranger Slayer's journey is coming to an end soon. And I kind of want to talk about Ranger Slayer from the beginning to the end. Probably the same thing with Draken, because, you know, Draken's dead. There he is, he's dead right there. Spoilers. Friendships have fallen, you got the Stone Canyon Trio. The Omega, oh, that was a crazy reveal as well. Like, I remember when issue 40 dropped and I was so excited for Necessary Evil because Ryan took over the comics. I was sort of doing like these live reactions to the comics as well. I was reading along with them because I watched a lot of manga streamers who did that, so I thought I'll do it with the comics. Not a lot of people showed up for them, but I reacted to them, and I remember getting to that final page and my jaw dropped. And again, this artwork is really freaking fantastic by Danielle Di Nicuolo. The Green Ranger moment. This is a moment I honestly kind of forget about, to be honest, that happened in the comics. I remember it happened, but my brain doesn't click to it like, you know, like Shattered Grid or the Omega Rangers or the Eltarian War. I mean, this is like so early on in the comics that I kind of forget about it. I remember Black Dragon, but I always kind of forget about this moment here. This moment was really great. Forever Pink. I remember when this first happened in the comics. Really fantastic moment. Really, really fantastic moment. And the grid itself is shattered. Yep. But the hour has never been darkest. Okay. Darkest hour happened, I remember that. The 8-year saga ends here. This comic began in 2016. A lot has happened since then when it comes to life, the world around us, and the Power Rangers franchise in general. I mean, we were in the, like, I don't want to say the dog shit Neo Saban era. We were in the Neo Saban era with Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel back in 2017. Or maybe it was 2016, so maybe Dino Supercharged was just coming out then. I can't remember. But I remember it was like during the Ninja Steel era that a lot of people didn't like. A lot of people weren't a fan of those earlier, like those late seasons. And then the comics come out and they just wow us. And then the 2017 movie happens, which has mixed results within the fandom, but it was still something that had a lot of people talking. And that's what a lot of people say about the comics. For like the darkest hour of the franchise, the comics have been there to sort of get people by. Yep, there's cool artwork by Dan Mora, all these different Rangers. Darkest Hour. All the different helmet variants by Goni Montez. We're nearly at the end. And then this one looks really freaking great. Darkest Hour finale, available at the end of July, July 31st. Available at your local comic book shop. Whew. I kind of need that side thingy that they're doing here because I like using that for my videos. Then I have to go back and redo a lot of thumbnails as well. Only like 11, 12, because Darkest Hour. But yeah, there's that preview that Boom posted. That's crazy. Let me just mute that in case it auto plays. But yeah, that was my reaction to that. I'll probably have a timestamp on that, but that was a fun trip down memory lane. So it all ends here. Fan favorite writer Melissa Flores and acclaimed artist Simona Di Galifianakis deliver the epic one-shot finale everything has been building up to, MMPR Darkest Hour. The last day of the pre-order is on Monday, July 1st. Available in comic shops Wednesday, July 31st. So I need to get on this pre-order. I don't know if I'll do it through Boom Studios websites or I'll do it through comic book stores that I know of online. But it's crazy this comic's coming to an end. It's like every time I have to say that out loud, I have to sort of like take a breath and remind myself like these comics are coming to an end. Something that you've been talking about on the channel since like 2018 is coming to a close after all these years. I've been reading it since like issue 1, but I didn't start covering on the channel until 2018, which I do always wonder what it would be like if I cover these comics since day 1. I do wonder, but let's go back and let's jump to Ranger Command because we've got some preview pages to go over. Now, I've talked about the covers. There's nothing too crazy with the covers. There's just one brand new one, and my phone alarm is going off. All right, I'm back. So what I was saying, there's one brand new cover that's been dropped, and I think there's like maybe 2 more. There's a spoiler one that they teased, and then there's this one that just dropped from Dan Mora, where it's got all 6 Rangers, which is a really nice cover. I really do like Dan Mora's artwork, and I'm glad that he's doing a cover for the big grand finale of the Power Ranger comics. So let's go over on Ranger Command. I've gone over these cover pages before on the channel when they were first revealed, but we've got one new one, I think, and that is we've got the Black Ranger with the RPM or the RPM emissary, not the RPM emissary. We've got Zach here standing behind RPM Black, which a lot of people think that, does this mean they're teaming up on a crossover? I was like, no, they're not. It's just a cool cover of a tarot card. Let's look at these preview pages because there's a lot to break down here. Also, like I said, I'm reading this off Ranger Command. Friends of the channel, friends of the show. Eric's really cool. We're probably going to do something when the finale of the comic happens. And when I say we, I think Eric might be doing something, and I might get invited on. If the invite is offered, I will gladly accept it because I love talking about the comics with Eric and Rolliver and Cosmic and everyone else. Like, it's going to get me choked up talking about the end of the comics, like, on the fly, but I can't wait to do it. So let's look at these preview pages on Ranger Command. We got 4 we're going to look at, and let's start from the first one. So we've got this one. You've got Zordon floating in the void. You see his big blue bum. And this is probably like the vessel. I think this is the moments with the vessel. I feel like this is going to be opening on a flashback, and this is going to be the moments of the vessel when they were infected by Dark Specter, because you can sort of see them floating around, and then they get taken over by the dark energy. Which, really cool panel. Really cool panel. Like, you see the despair on their face. Then we've got this one here, where... Take a sip of my drink. You can see Dark Specter with his army of Rangers on this awesome 2-page spread. So we can see what army he's gathered so far. You can see Bulk here, or Coinless Bulk here, which is someone who was captured. You can see Riley from Dino Charge. You can see Z from SBD. You can see Delphine from Alien Rangers. You can see Psycho. Let me zoom in. Is it Psycho Blue? Let me just zoom in. Yeah, I think that's Psycho Blue or Psycho Black. I can't tell because of the lighting. But you've also got Yale, who was captured, and I guess they were converted as well. You've got SPD Pink, Sid, and then you've got Ion here. You've got Mystic Force Blue. You've got Damon from Lost Galaxy, and then you've got Tanya from Zeo. So he's built quite an army. And I don't know when this takes place, because like I said, these are the preview pages for the Darkest Hour finale. We have no idea what's going to happen in between issue 122 and this one. Like, I don't know if we're going to get those preview pages as well. I think we will. because Boom Studios will probably have to put them out. If we don't, we don't. I don't think there has been a month where we haven't gotten preview pages, or there's been a month where I didn't cover them because there wasn't like a lot to talk about with them. But next, oh, my throat. Let me have a zip. You're getting that live. We'll cut the phone part out, but you're getting that live. Okay, so I don't think there's been a month where we haven't got preview pages because Boom Studios usually does it unless it's something they want to really keep tight shut. But here we have Dark Specter standing in front of his army, and you see a bunch of different rangers here. So then on the next page, you have Lord Zed in Serpentera, and they're facing off with the Master Vile ship, which the context for this is really weird because he's facing off against the Master Vile ship. We don't know who's in there because Rita he put in the dumpster, and Rita had given up on everything because, like I said, this is right after 122. We have no idea of the context that's going to happen after that issue. But I like how he's just stomping on it, and then you've got Goldar in there. He looks like he's in a bit of a panic. Lord Zed's just taking charge, and then he whacks it with the tail, and Vanna gets shot out with laser beams. So looks like we're going to get a fight between the freaking the Master Vile ship, which I freaking love, and I burped, I do apologize. The Master Vile ship and Lord Zed, which I do wonder who's piloting it. I wonder if it's going to be Master Vile himself, because he was devoted to Dark Specter, or it could be Alpha 1 in there. I honestly have no idea. I wonder if it's going to be Alpha 1 and he's going to fuse with that ship and he's going to turn himself into a giant sword. That'd be cool to see. And then we have Chloe facing off with Angel, I believe their name is. And it looks like that he's enthralled with Thralls because you can see him combining with them, which is really cool. You can see his arms growing and they're extending. It's really cool. And then she whips out the battle lines and they have a fight between them. So for a lot of people wondering where have the Hyperforce Rangers been, we haven't seen them for the longest time. Well, there they are. We finally have an answer to where the Hyperforce Rangers are. And I'm glad they're doing okay. So it looks like they're getting into their own little conflicts or their own little battles, but I'm hoping we get an explanation where they've been ever since they started traveling the multiverse and rescuing everyone. But Damon's captured, no, that was Kendrick's or Lost Galaxy Pink and the Magnet Defender we saw. My mistake. That's what we saw ages ago. But this is really cool. I really do like the Hyperforce Pink battle line, so I think it looks really great. And we're getting a showdown between Chloe and her dad. It's something that was a year in the making, because the Hyperforce comic came out like over a year ago at this point almost. But that is the preview pages for Darkest Hour, the big grand finale that we're getting at the end of next month. I'll be covering on the channel, of course. I'll be talking about it, and I hope you guys will be there with me as we cover the end game or the grand finale of the Power Ranger comics. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, bye.